Yo, what's good everyone? Today's video is a stop motion challenge I made in collaboration with Netbrix. The idea was pretty simple. We each had to make a stop motion for under $10. The twist was that we got to pick the set for the other person to animate. So it's fair to say we weren't going to be buying the easiest sets. This is what he chose for me. At first glance, it's not that bad. Star Wars, regular minifig, decent. But the fact there's only one minifigure makes things a little bit more difficult as there's no one for him to fight. I've never made a proper stop motion using only one minifigure before, so I had to think a little bit outside of the box. I decided to try and make a mech out of all the pieces that were used in the build. Unfortunately, I couldn't make any legs, so I decided to turn it into some kind of sentry turret instead. With that done, I started animating. The rules were simple. We were only allowed to use pieces from the chosen $10 set. We could however still use one base plate, blue tack or paint as long as it wasn't the main focus of the video, any kind of lighting we wanted, and of course our phones and stand to film the actual video, and finally we had 3 hours to complete the challenge. I found this to be one of the hardest challenges yet. As I only had one minifigure, I had to make a fight scene where the enemy was entirely brick built. This meant it had very little articulation, only at the base and on the arms of the turret, so I had to be a bit creative with how they'd fight. I tried to establish early on that the sentry clearly outgunned Mando to make a sense of challenge, and that he had to use his brain to tactically outsmart the sentry instead of just attacking it head on. This was actually quite interesting to make because most of my fights between two figures have no tactics or smart storytelling whatsoever, it's just them taking in turns hitting each other, so this is definitely something I'll try to implement more in my regular films. Another trick I came up with for this one was to show the recoil of the sentry. I removed a plate on its arm to make the barrel of the gun move back slightly when it's shot. It makes it appear as though it's got more articulation than it actually does, just by building it slightly different for each frame depending on what position it's meant to be in. Overall, this challenge has forced me to be quite creative and was actually a pretty fun way to learn some new tricks and storytelling ideas. And even though it's more difficult, you can still definitely make some pretty cool stop motions with a smaller collection or even on a budget like this. That kind of covers my thought process for this. I'll play the finished clip in just a second, but before I do, please consider dropping a like, and make sure you also go check out Netbrix video. He does some really nice stop motions too, so I'll put a link to his channel in the end cards. With that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.